slamming on it.
Okay, we'll take a look here in a sec. Let's just kind of warm up here a little bit. Have we been able to practice or do anything, or have we been?
Yeah, we did drills yesterday.
You did. Okay, great, great.
Swaying, and I gotta get it if he doesn't like the ones I got. Whereas they're kind of steep.
Okay.
And there's nothing on the bottom that like you can like rest your foot in, so you're and
Slide.
You kind of slide. He was working on it last night. I was like, yeah, I gotta get a different one. Those are very steep.
Give me one more here, and we'll take a look at it, big guy.
I keep hitting the ground. I don't know
That's
why.
okay. That's okay.
Reminds me about the range. I always hit the ground.
So let's take a look here. All right, so first thing, starting with the setup here just a little bit, okay? I want to get our feet a little bit more spaced there, okay? They look a little generic, I'd say. Okay, I want to get a little bit more dynamic. So I want to get a little bit wider stance, okay? Especially with a 6-iron, okay? 6-iron, we want to have a little bit wider base right there. The other thing I'd like to kind of see as far as the setup goes here a little bit, maybe move the ball up just a shade and move our hands back a little bit. Okay, you see where John's hands are in relationship to the ball? And you see where his hands are in relationship to his body? Okay, so you can see that your hands are a little bit over your left thigh, right? And the more I press my hands forward, the more the face opens. Does that make sense? So we want to bring that back just a little bit, okay? And that will help level out our shoulders. You see how we start to get really steep like that? Okay, so leveling out those shoulders just a little bit, okay? As far as what I see on the set. Okay. All right, so let's get to where, let's take a look at this position right here and see what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong here, okay? Doing pretty good right there. The only thing I would say is I think the face may be open just a shade and getting a little bit back behind us right there. Okay, as we kind of go, I'd like to see that left shoulder turning down just a little bit more, just a smidge. Just kind of take a look at the next section here. Okay. Left arm parallel to the ground. Pretty similar there. All right, keeping the head in the hub. Boom. Okay, so pretty similar positions there at the top as well, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree? The only thing I see is a little bit different is our wrist structure there, right? You see where John's a little bit more bowed, you're a little bit more cupped. Okay, so want to kind of change that, want to try to get that wrist more to a neutral position or flatter. Let's see as we continue on through. Okay, as you start to come down. Just backing on up and out of it. So here's the big difference that I'm seeing right now. Let's kind of take a look here. So as you come into impact, right, it's kind of like your arms are just kind of, they're dropping what we want, okay, but I'm not seeing a lot of, like I'd like to see a little bit of this left shoulder right here, and we'll watch John here. I'd like to see a little bit more of that left shoulder going this, okay, a little bit this. What I kind of see is a little bit like that. Does that make sense? So let's kind of take a look at that real quick, okay? So that's why I was kind of trying to get the idea of keeping your chest over the ball a little bit, but maybe we'll think about maybe getting the left shoulder kind of working down a little bit, more aggressive. Okay. All right, we're losing our angle just a little bit there, right? All right, so if you see John here, right, watch how he's really stomping into that ground, getting that lead shoulder to kind of go down and forward, right? Driving, 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 maintaining that angle right there, and then boom, okay? You can see for you here just a little bit, if we could get you right here and really get into that, really stomp into that and keep that angle just a little bit longer right there. We gotta hold it just a little bit, okay? And you see how you kind of gotta get your arms back together a little bit there? Yeah. Okay. So you gotta keep that chest moving and keeping that angle down. Does that make sense, big guy? Okay. Any questions? Kyle, any questions?
No, I think you definitely see, I think he's getting the stomp. It just seems like he's dropping, and then you can see where wrong, like, that's like the first thing, I think it's that shoulder down.
Yeah, and I think if we could just get his
It's
angle
just
of
the
the
timing a little bit for him.
Yeah, I think if we can get him to kind of really start getting that angle of attack down a little bit, maintaining that angle a little bit too as well. Now the other thing I kind of see here, and we'll take a look down the line here just a little bit, okay? But go ahead and set up for me, okay? And I want a little bit wider stance. There we go. And I want a little less knee flex. There you go, okay? And a little bit more waist bend. So bending from the waist. Okay, so hands out a little bit more in front of us. There you go. Okay, good. Okay, that's a much more dynamic look from what I'm seeing. What I kind of see here a little bit is you're like this, you got a short knees or short stance, and then you got a lot of bends in your knees. Okay, so we want to try to get to the point where, can you see your shoelaces over your, okay, can you see it over there? Okay, good. So as long as you can see your shoelaces is a good thing. Okay, now we want to try to maintain and keep these hands just a little bit out, okay, a little bit away from us. You kind of have a tendency of getting really in here like this, okay? So give yourself a little space right there, okay? Good. So as we continue, let's get on up to the top. Good, okay. So as we kind of talked here, got to get this more like this, okay? Just a little bit, okay? Getting this more flatter, okay? Don't want a lot of cupping, okay? But I do want just like this, okay? So I've got a little thing that we're going to kind of work on a little bit to kind of get that feel a little bit. But the big thing for us as we do this, right, I want you to feel like you're stomping and getting that kind of moving really aggressively, okay? And what that's going to help do is get our angle of attack down, okay? And that's where we want to kind of be, right there, okay? You can kind of see here in impact, you kind of start to lose your angle back over here, and it's kind of like this. And then you kind of have to reorganize your arms a little bit to come through. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So, let's try this real quick. Let's try to get the cupping out a little bit and see if we can get you to turn just maybe a little bit better. All right, so let me demonstrate this real quick to you, okay? Have you worked with one of these before?
Yeah, I think we did last time.
Okay, so trying to keep your left arm on there,
Yeah.
right?
Keep the pressure on.
Correct, correct. So we want to try to keep that pressure on, right? Keep that pressure on our left forearm as we get on up to the top, just like this, okay? You're like this, you kind of get away just a little bit, okay? So don't worry about the ball right now, per se. Just get that up against your left arm. Yep, there you go. Good. There you go. Here we go, once again. There you go. Okay. Good. Okay. Now, just give me a small swing down, holding that angle. Does that make sense? Good. Again. Good. You see, I like how you're stomping, but you see how your head's really moving forward? Okay, that's what's going to bring you to back out. Okay, so when we talk about it, it's not one of those things where it's like this, I'm moving my head. Okay, it's definitely one of those things I want to feel like my lead shoulder is moving down, down. Okay? Okay?
Okay.
Let's try it again. Okay, up to the top. And stop. Good. Okay. That's an exaggeration. Okay. But just kind of give me a swing down and through. Better. Let's do it again. Good. Good. Again. Let's try it again. See how we do. Okay, better job of holding the angle. Okay, you see where your right elbow is? Good. Okay. Good follow through. Okay. Good. All right. But we gotta, let's do this real quick. I want to kind of work on that head just a little bit. So go again. I think we're on the right track. Set up. Okay. Go down. There you go. Okay. Again. There you go. Okay. Do that one more time for me. I'm going to videotape it and I'm going to try to, I just want to try to get some of that head movement out. I don't want you, I want you to feel like you're pressing into the ground, but I don't want you to feel like your head's got to make the movement. Does that make sense? So let's do this. Again. There you go. Okay. Good. See how you come into that line and then you back out? Okay. Let's take a look at this guy right here.
So it's kind of like a reaction thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like a reaction time thing.
Yeah. So if you kind of see here, right, if I put a line, if I put that thing right there, watch how your head would go in front of it. Right?
Yeah, very in front.
Very in front, right? So you can see that your spine has gone from here to over here. Does that make sense?
That's a whole like 4 inches.
Correct, correct. And what did you kind of say when you came on in here? Why am I hitting on top of the ball?
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what you kind of said, if I remember right?
Why am I chopping down on it?
Correct. So your head is going like this, and then boom. So I want you to kind of think of this, okay? Let's kind of think about this real quick. If I had a big chunk of wood, right? If I had a tree right in front of me, right? If I were to hit that tree, okay, I would be in this reactionary mode. Where's my head in relationship to the axe?
More like behind it.
Definitely behind it, right? What you're doing here is you're doing this. Would you chop into a piece of wood with your head in front of the axe?
No.
No, it'd be tough, right? Okay, so what I'm trying to get you to kind of realize is that when you get on in here, it's down and through, right? But the head is going to move, ever so slightly or stay on that line and move back just a little bit, okay? Whenever we're trying to hit something, our head's going to be behind that. Going to make sense?
So when I go to press down, my head moves a little bit, but try to get my head back immediately after.
Well, your head's going to slightly move back because of your backswing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're really doing is recentering. Okay, you're not trying to move forward, we're just trying to recenter. Okay, so if you kind of watch me as I turn to the back, right? You see where my head is?
Yeah.
Okay, now as I stomp, you see how it comes back, almost back to where it was? And then there's almost like there's a wall or a line right here, and I'm really trying to keep that angle as I drive down and through, like what we're talking about here. And then it's basically work my head back behind that line just a little bit. Okay? Let's take a look at these guys real quick so you get an understanding of it. All right.
Tim, I'm gonna suss out some coffee.
Yeah, go right ahead,
Right
man.
back.
Those are Wendy's.
Yeah, it might have been made yesterday, but I think that'll do.
Yeah, I don't blame them there, man. I can't say I blame them.
Made by everything I think you made like last week. That food ain't very good.
What's that? That food?
Wendy's food ain't very good.
Yeah.
Their stuff feels like it's been sitting there for about 3 months.
It probably has.
It really, yeah.
So what I want you to focus on here is John's head here, okay?
Okay.
So it moves off that line a little bit like we kind of talked about, right?
Move back.
Gets
forward.
back to it, and then it's like he works his head right there against that wall, and that allows him, as he works that, to maintain that angle with his hands and come through, okay?
So it's kind of like you go for your backswing, your head's gonna come back a little bit. You go forward a little bit, and then like you keep your neck really stiff.
Well,
Until not like keep going forward.
correct. We don't want our head above the line, okay? I don't know what we were doing on this guy. Yeah, you're doing pretty good right there with what we're doing, okay?
That's how you get a wider stance and work on my angle.
Correct. So we gotta widen that stance a little bit, okay? I would allow your head to move off that line just a smidge, okay? Because it looks like to me we're not getting as much of a hip turn as we could, okay? So that tells me that we've probably been working hard on getting that slide out, right? And now we're kind of raising our hips just a little bit, okay? So if we get that head to kind of move back just a little bit, recenter it, and then really just try to maintain that angle, okay? And keep that chest turning. You see how your chest is still staring at me as your hands come through,
Yeah.
right? As we look at John here, as he comes through, look how his chest is starting to point more this way than where yours is pointing more towards the camera. Does that make sense a little
He's
bit?
just pointing like more towards his target.
Yeah, so he's rotating a little bit more than what you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? Because what you're kind of doing is you're bringing the club down, okay? You're doing what we ask, okay? And you're bringing the club down, okay? But I'm not seeing a lot of chest turn, right? So if I just bring the club down, I'm going to start losing my angle, okay? I want to get here, I want to move that club down, but I want to have weight going towards, down, right? Driving everything down and through. And then as I get through here, boom.
So there's a lot of rotating.
Yeah, you got to get your chest to rotate, right? So I got to get my chest to a point where it starts to open up, right? That's going to help maintain that angle for me. But once I start to stop my chest and go, I'm going to kind of throw the club into the ground. Does that make sense? Yeah. So do this for me just a couple of times, okay? I want you to just give me some swings. Here, I'll demonstrate real quick for you. All right, I want you to give me a couple swings here, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to try to maintain that angle and rotate our chest.
Okay.
Okay, so just try to hold the angle here and just feel like your belly button, let's go with the belly button, is really rotating and turning. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep.
Jump on in there. Okay? Just got to get that angle down a little bit. Okay. Okay, let's go. Go. All right. All right, so once again, set on up to the top. Good. So as we go, try to maintain this angle for me, and then rotate our chest. That's an exaggeration, of course, and try to get that elbow in front of us. Let's try it again. Get a feel for it. Good. Good. There. Okay. And then it's got to have that feeling. Right? It feels like you're turning way out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Give me a swing now. How did that feel?
That felt quick and I felt very flexible.
Okay, let's try it again for me, okay? Because what I'm trying to get to is just making sure that you're keeping that angle down.
I didn't feel as like stiff and having to like try to get the club to move quicker.
Okay.
And I felt like the angle, I feel like I didn't have to like do this. I felt like my arms were like this the whole way through.
Good.
Most of it at least.
Good. Okay, so that's what we're trying to go for right there. We're trying to go for that feel, right? So get that wrist angle and just feel like your chest or your belly button's rotating aggressively through, okay? Good.
You want me to do like the over exaggerating just to get the feel for it?
Well, it's gonna feel like an over exaggeration to you, but it's actually probably more the right movement. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Right?
That makes sense.
Good. So keep that wrist angle. Yeah. Good. Okay, good job. Let's take a look at this guy.
I didn't really work on my head, so my head might not be the best.
I think we just need to have a discussion about it. I don't think you need to focus too much on it.
I was focusing on the.
Good job. Okay. But let's try to get that right elbow maybe a little bit more in front of us. Okay.
So don't be like so close in, be like a little farther out. And right here, or like that.
Yeah, so if I kind of,
Like this.
yeah, so kind of get this feeling right here. So as we get on up here, good little wrist hinge, feel like our elbow is right in there. Feel that?
Yeah, so like
Okay.
have the elbow like into my body.
Yeah, yeah. So we want to kind of feel like that right elbow is a little bit closer to our body. If it starts to get outside of it over here, then bad things start to happen. So I really want to kind of feel like, and this might help you right here. Let's kind of do this real quick. All right, to give you that good feel. So let's get on in a position. Take your right arm, put it out just like this. Take your left, hook it around it. Okay. And then as we kind of make a small backswing, it doesn't have to be anything great. Okay. I want us to feel like our left arm here is pulling our right elbow in front of us. Okay, so here we go. Good. Good. Now as you turn your chest, there you go. Okay. This is exaggeration, of course, okay? But it starts to get you a good feel for what we need. Okay, good. All right. And then, yeah. Okay. Exaggeration, of course. Good. Now let's turn that chest. Good. Okay. Over exaggeration. Right. You notice how much more you've got to really turn your chest to turn your arms?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And then just kind of slowly turn through. Feel like your belly button's rotating out of the way. Yeah. You feel where your elbow is there?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
My chest feels very twisted when I'm like that.
Well, yeah, we got to get that thing turned, right?
Very pushing out air.
Okay, so let's kind of see. Good. That wasn't a swing, but just take a look at it all.
Put all that together and I swing like a pro.
Absolutely, man. All right, so a few things that we've kind of talked about here. I want a little bit more of a dynamic setup. So I want our feet just a little bit wider, a little less knee flex, and a little bit more chest over the ball a little bit than being up over here, okay? This foot needs to be kind of square, okay, square. This guy can be open. There you go.
So kind of like a driver.
Yeah, throughout all back. That way it's going to really help get that left hip turned for you a little bit as you come through a little bit, okay? The other thing that we're kind of talking about here a little bit, and I think this will kind of help us just a little bit, is making sure that as we get on up to the top here, I really feel like my belly button is turning out of the way, and hopefully that's going to help maintain that angle down and through for us. Does that make sense?
I kind of feel like naturally I feel like I can do it.
Okay.
Same with the cupping. It was like that, then it was like that, and now I feel like when I bring it back, I'm just going to keep it flat. It just feels better.
Okay, okay.
More
So,
natural.
and once again, as we get on up to the backswing here, right? Let's take a look at the backswing, right? Up to the back. Good, good, right? Trying to keep this left wrist as straight as possible, right? You don't want to get too crazy like this. Don't want to get too crazy like this either, okay? But trying to get your left wrist a little bit flatter. If it's got a little cupping, I'm okay with that, okay? But that's going to get that to match more of this club face up over here, okay? But once I start to kind of do stuff like this and like this, then we start making the face all kind of wonky, right? So there, okay? And the real feeling we want to have is that if I was going to hit the ball, I'm going to hit it with like the back of my hand here. Boom. As we come through, okay? All right, big guy.
Hey, he got his coffee.
He got his coffee. Good for him. Where'd he go? He didn't
I
go.
think he's the door's locked.
All right, there he is. Do 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 do.
That's for when you want to talk 2 hours go to McDonald's.
It's
Correct.
so damn hot. Even I can't drink it. I have to eat and drink everything piping hot, so.
He gets it from his mother.
Okay. So let's feel like we got that belly button turned for us a little bit. Okay. Do again.
It's kind of better.
It's okay.
I felt like I rotated a lot more than I usually do without swing.
Okay. So let's move the ball up in our setup a little bit, and then move our hands back just a smidge. Back. There you go. Good. Very good. Okay. We go better. Okay. Getting back to the road to recovery.
That I felt like I absolutely just watched that and I didn't try that hard.
Good. Okay, but are you feeling the chest rotating a little bit more now?
That felt very smooth. I caught the ball smoothly. I rotated smoothly. I felt everything. It was very smooth.
Okay, great. Right, so moving the ball just up a little bit in our setup, moving our hands back just a little bit.
So kind of like right here, not off the heel, but almost off the heel, or is that too much?
You know, I'd love to say where the perfect spot is, but you're different than me, right? But I can just see that when I look at the setup, you're starting to get the ball too far back and your hands too far forward. So I want to we've just got to get to the point where we really feel where is the right position for us. And I'd much rather have it a little bit more up in my setup. That way when you turn back behind the ball, you've got something to run and go get. Does that make sense? I've got energy to go into it, right? But if I have the ball too far back, then I'm going to kind of turn back behind it, and then I got to stay back behind it. Does that make sense? Okay.
So is that like good
Give it a shot. We're not going to judge you too hard.
in a way?
Okay, good. Good. Right? Get a feel for it. Go again.
Wasn't the best, but I feel like I'm turning a lot quicker.
Okay. I like that your angle of attack is, your low point's starting to come down a little bit. So it's at 1.3. I'd like to start getting to about 3 if we could, but I'm getting rid of the B's. So go ahead and set up for me.
I don't want to think I'm hitting it too hard, or like trying too hard, but I'm not. I just feel very quick.
Okay.
Like how the pros, where they're very explosive, that's how I feel.
Good. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, yeah, like,
Okay. There we go. Good. Now give me a chance with that, okay? I know that's a little far up for us, but give me a chance with it, okay? Maybe a little too far forward, right? Okay, but that's what I'm trying to experiment with you a little bit here, okay? Okay, good. All right, ball up just a little bit, hands back just a smidge. Good. Feel like that belly button's turning out of the way.
Maybe a little too much.
That's all right. I'm going to take a look at it here in just a sec. Okay. Ball up in our setup. Very good. All right. Feel like our belly button's rotating through. I think we're far
I
off.
feel it's really good.
Okay. Just got to start making a little contact. That's all.
It's a new swing. I'm used to it.
That's fine. All right. Good. that guy real quick.
I'm just gonna go up.
Starting to get there. All right, so I'm liking the position a lot better. See how the hands are kind of moved back to the inner part of the thigh here?
Yeah.
Good. Looks like we've got a little bit more dynamic setup. Looks a little bit more like John Rahm here, right?
It can be a little wider, but it's wider.
No, that's fine. That's absolutely perfect, I think.
Like, just a little bit better than shoulder width?
Yeah, I mean, if I were to say anything, if he wants more stability, then I'd open up this left toe a little bit.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's something I'm starting to learn, that you have this closed and this open, but all your closed.
Mm-hmm.
I just learned that today.
So, learning that's new, right? So, a little long with the wrist hinge here, right? So if we kind of take a look here, John's probably not the best to demonstrate this a little bit, but I'd like to see for you, okay, when we get to right about here, okay, hands are just past our right foot, I would like to see that club more in this type of angle.
So
Does that make sense?
A little sooner.
Well, yeah, because as you can see here, right, if I look at your shoulders, right, they're here for a turn, right? You see how that club would start to match up to what your shoulder turn would kind of be a little bit, right? John's a little bit different than that, I will admit. So here is his shoulder turn there, okay? But the big thing about John is that once he gets up to the top here, he gets it all to match up. Okay, well, that's what being probably the number 2 golfer in the world is about, right? But the big thing is that we want to kind of feel like we're getting that hinge a little bit earlier, because you can see that you're turning, and then we start to get this wrist hinge here, and it gives us just a little bit of a lift. Getting better with the angle a little bit.
For me, it looks a little bit more pro, but
Yeah.
it probably looks rookie to everyone else.
No, you're doing fine, okay? But the big thing we want to kind of feel here on the other end here, right? You can see that your arms are kind of sucking up towards you a little bit here. You feel that a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So set up for me real quick. Okay. And what I want you to kind of feel, right? This is what I want you to feel as when you come through here. No, let your right side go through. Let your right side come through, right? But I'd much rather your arms be out over here, okay? Right there. See how you're maintaining that structure out in front of you? Okay? Then where you start to collapse and come back.
Yeah, like this.
Okay.
Stuff like this.
Mm-hmm. So here's a little drill that we can kind of do for that, okay? I like to call it the old Tommy Fleetwood, okay? You ever watch old Tommy? You're going to watch him at the Ryder Cup, right?
Am I?
We'll probably watch some Ryder Cup tomorrow. He's
Okay.
got an 11:30 tee time, and then he's got a friend coming over
Oh, okay.
who could give 2 shits less about anything that happens outdoors.
Okay, so it's going to be an indoor day, huh?
Yeah.
So what we can kind of do here a little bit, and this is how I'd kind of practice just a little bit, right? I would kind of take a little half swing here, right? Focus on the belly button turning still, right? But then I want you to feel like it's a punch shot and I'm maintaining and holding my structure out in front of me. Kind of like Tommy Fleetwood, right? So it'd be kind of like this as I kind of go. Right, you see where I'm at?
Yeah.
Okay, arms way out in front of me. Let's try it.
Instead of just right here.
Correct, instead of you kind of getting here, right, and then it's kind of backing on up and out, right? So if we kind of focus on maybe hitting like a punch shot, I'm holding my structure out in front of me, kind of punch shot, we start to get that angle of attack. We keep this angle here instead of losing it. Does that make sense? So once again, kind of like this. Here. Okay, and I'm just trying to keep my hands out in front of me as far as I can. Okay? All right, so take a visual of John here as he comes through. Right, that's what I want you to feel with your arms right there. You see that?
Yep.
Okay, so set up for me, big guy. Good dynamic setup, good. Good. All right. So here we go, good. Yeah, that's where I want you to finish. Okay, so it's going to feel like a punch shot for you. Okay, but we're going to swing from here
All the way up
to here. See how that relates?
here.
Okay. Here, right there, left arm parallel to the ground, right arm parallel to the ground. Okay? Maintaining that arm structure. See where your balance is now? Not falling back, but going forward. Okay? So just give me a couple swings like that. Okay, what we just did there. Yeah. Okay. Good. See how you're going too far? Okay, I want you to stop right here. Okay? Good. Okay? Do it again, fast. Okay? What are you feeling a little bit?
Feeling like my swing, because I'm stopping right here instead of way up here, I feel like my swing is too short, like very, very short, because before I would bring it all the way back, so it just feels like a lot quicker and shorter when I stop it right here.
No deceleration,
Yeah.
right? I don't see any deceleration, right? I don't see the chest stopping. I don't see the arms trying to come back in front of us or anything like this. What it should feel like to us a little bit, just a little bit, right? As I get here and I almost feel like I'm going to stop at the ball, I really feel like I'm kind of throwing my hands through impact. Does that make sense? Does that make sense a little bit? Is that kind of what you feel? That's the speed that I want to feel, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do it again, okay? Good, okay, good. So once again, start with this, okay? I'm just going to kind of give you a visual. I want you to feel like your hands are going to stop right here, okay? There you go. Okay, once again, feel like your hands are going to stop right here. Good.
Probably too high,
That's all right.
but not bad.
But what we're doing is we're hoping to maintain that angle, right? And we're not focusing on trying to hit the ball here, but we're trying to focus on accelerating through. Okay? For you, I think you kind of get ball bound and it's kind of like, right? Instead of, does that make sense? Let's do it again. There we go. Right? Try to keep your hands under that line. Yeah, there you go. See how you can't? Like, even if I told you to stop right there, the momentum carries you past. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
That's important. Okay, good. Once again. Okay. Good. Okay. Good.
I like how it's hard work, but it's fun.
The golf swing should feel like a little bit of a workout, partner. There you go. Okay, you feel how you, as you swing that club, you're moving it in front of you, right? It's not just, here's the ball and there we go.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like that.
So here we go. Let me kind of jump in there and demonstrate real quick, give you a visual, and then I want you to do it, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to feel like I get to about here, okay? And I'm going to swing as hard as I can, as fast as I can. And then once I get to past impact right here, I want to feel like I'm bracing, I'm stopping as fast as I can. I'm not going to, momentum's already got me, but it's going to get me finish here. Does that make sense?
It's gonna get you to finish like sooner right here than all the way up here.
Well, it's going to get my body to rotate out of the way, right? And not leave my arms just to kind of, okay? So here we go. Watch. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to take it here, and I'm going to feel like I'm swinging as hard as I want, and I'm going to try to almost stop at the ball, and I can't. Okay? So here we go. Here. Okay. Probably not the best example there, but that's okay. Here we go. Okay, but you can see that my arms stay out in front of me. Okay, that's the big part right there. I don't want to have that feeling like I get here and I kind of slow up at impact and then I kind of this. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I'm sure we get some better examples than that, but that's all right. It's just life.
So do I hit?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're just taking that left arm up parallel. Okay, and we're going to accelerate and feel like we're almost having our hands stop up over here, okay? And just give me a feel for that, okay? Do it again. Got a buddy coming on over tomorrow, huh?
Yeah.
Come over this afternoon.
Oh, this afternoon,
Yeah,
sleep
we're
over?
gonna go, well, he's gonna play 9, and then Ashley will probably come get him, and, his friend's mom's dropping him off later today.
Cool. There you go, good finish. Okay, good finish right there. Okay.
Feels like, yeah, a punch shot. Like it's just gonna go up and it's just gonna keep going for a while.
Correct, yeah, yeah. You know, and as we start to get used to this move, we'll start getting the swing a little bit longer and longer. But right now, we got to make sure that we're holding that angle as we get into impact, right? And I got to feel like I'm really finishing on a solid left side as I come through, right? I don't want to feel like my arms are sucking back into me and I'm falling back, right? Okay, good. Left arm parallel. I want you to move that ball a little bit up in your setup. There you go, perfect. Perfect, okay? That's okay. Let's hit one down the line here on us. Let's see how we're doing there. That sounded better. That sounded better. Do it one more time here, and let's put a little incentive for you, okay? So you start to kind of get an idea on that. Okay, good. All right, so we're going to try to get this tee out of the ground as we kind of do this, right? So left arm parallel. I feel like our hands are going to brace for impact right here. Stop right there, okay? Good. Good job. Good work.
The couple before that, it seemed like you were stopping your hands, but then we forgot to shift our head back and you weren't coming in behind it. Put it together good on that one.
Okay. So I think just having the visual there kind of helps them a little bit with
Yeah.
some of the things there, right?
Yeah, I
Get
get
the
it.
mind off thinking of a few
I do the
things.
same thing, I'm like, okay, I got that down, but then the thing before goes away.
Yes. Right, left arm parallel. Brace it. Okay,
Oh, that was different.
that's
I
okay.
didn't scoop.
Okay.
That doesn't count.
Let's do this one more time. Give me a swing here. Let's take a look and see. Low point starting to come down. We gotta keep working on it. All right. Let's see how we're doing on our takeaway. So once again, as we kind of talked about, I'd like to see those arms out a little bit in front of us, but I think with the length of the club is what's kind of holding us back there a little bit. Does that make sense? Okay, so once we start to grow into our equipment, I think that will start to change a little bit. All right. And once again, so here's the issue that I kind of see here. With your hands being so close to you, you're gonna have a tendency to want to kind of move those out and away from you to start. Does that make sense? Okay. If we look at John here, right, his hands will kind of go right down the target line here. See how his hands go right back? That's a really good start, what we want to kind of see here. Okay. What you kind of do is you start to roll your wrists a little bit here, and that's going to open up the club face. Yes. Right. So if I kind of look here, right here down the line, you can see that the club head is over here and the hands are here. When I look at John here, probably not the best angle, but his hands are the club head's gonna be more in line with his hands, okay?
Maybe a little
Club-
bit behind, but very close.
Very close, right? Very, very close,
The
right?
plane of the club face is against the back of his hand.
Correct.
He's got like 3-4 inches there.
Correct. So the problem is here, right, when we get the club too far inside, is now the weight is controlling you with the club head instead of the other way around. Okay? So we want to kind of focus on that a little bit as well. Right, and then I think I kind of see a little bit of an issue here.
Leaning into it.
Yeah. So you
It's not
see how his
coming back,
head's...
but it's coming.
Correct. Correct. So it's kind of like his head and hands follow each other, right? It's
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one was not the best one.
It's like counterbalancing the weight of the club behind him.
Correct. Correct. He's using the weight of his head to combat that weight with his hands. Okay. And then the big thing is as you get in here to impact, you see how far your hands are ahead of that total line there. If we take a look at John here, we're all going to be above it, okay? But just how close we can get to that line is what consistency is.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
He at least has part of the shaft of the club passing through that original line.
Correct. And he's got his hand kind of, back of his hand just back on that line a little bit. His forward hand's a little bit ahead. We all are. It's centrifugal force. It's going to happen. But if I can get his hands to come back on the line and then return maybe just slightly over him, okay, we're going to be in a really good position. But if I start to get out and away like this, then I've got a weight issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
The clubs probably are a shade wrong for him.
Yeah, I mean,
But I
they're,
think he tends to, and like you mentioned to him earlier, he tends to not do the waist bend, he squats.
yes, and I think that's because of the equipment.
So
a
I
little
think
bit.
if he extends those knees and gets the waist bend, maybe we get that, maybe we get the end of the shaft,
I'm also
like out of his stomach a little bit.
Yes.
Because he tends to squat down into it a little bit.
Yeah, and I think you know the equipment's kind of dictating his posture a little bit right now. So once he kind of either grows into the equipment or we get some new equipment, that his
Yeah.
posture is going to start to change.
Because those are standard length, which I think they make for somebody that's in theory, in general, somebody who's about 5'10".
Yeah, they're
It
probably
is-
a little long for me.
Yeah, and I mean he's 5'7" or 8", so
5'8".
they're a little bit long.
I'm 5'8",
Okay.
because I matched the height with a kid that's 5'8" at my school.
So
Not as tall.
set up real quick for me. Okay, so let me kind of do this real quick. Okay, so the feeling that we want to kind of have, right, is I don't want to have the feeling that my hands go out and away to start, and that's an exaggeration, okay? But I want to have the feeling like I have something pushing on the back of my left hand here, straight back. Okay, so for you, it's probably going to be a feeling that we're dragging the club back. Does that make, you see how that's getting caught right there?
That's why we tuck our shirt in.
All right, so,
Well, guess what? I'm
I'm
not
just
shaking.
kidding, pay attention.
okay, but the big thing is if I can get you to kind of get these hands to kind of move back, there you go, okay? And more around our thigh here, and keeping the club head just outside of our hands or in line with our hands, then we're going to be in a better position. And the other thing is, okay, set up for me again, okay? The other drill that I would kind of do is I'd kind of put my hand right here against his head.
Yep.
Now go ahead and take a backswing for me. Okay, you feel how you're not falling forward?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just do it again.
Almost feels weird.
Yeah, because you're used to coming this way.
Yeah, I'm used to like.
Correct, correct. So as I get you here, okay? Good. Yeah. You see how you're leaving some space there for your right elbow like we talked about?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But if I get you to do this and then move forward on me, right?
Oh, I can feel me moving forward now that he's not there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's big force right there. Understanding, yep, and this is the drill that we want to kind of work on with that, okay? Get our head up against a wall,
Oh, yeah.
just as so,
I remember.
okay? And then your head's going to kind of turn just a little bit, right? but we're kind of keeping our head on that wall, okay?
Yeah.
But I don't want to have the feeling that I'm pressing into the wall as I go back. I don't want to have this. Does that make sense?
You don't want to drive your nose into the wall.
We don't want to press our forehead into the wall, okay? I want to feel like it's just brushing against it and I'm turning, okay? So let's take our hat off real quick and kind of get over there against the wall and do the drill real quick.
That was
That was a terrible throw.
Hey, that was
So when
the
you
hat.
play baseball.
Don't worry about the club. You just put that down, my man.
that was the hat motion.
All right, put your head up against the wall. There you go. Good. Standing tall. A little bit taller for me. There you go. Chin up just a little bit. There you go. Good. Put your head against the wall. There you go. Now turn for me. There you go. Okay. Good. All right. All right, so, you know, for him right now, I think if he kind of does this drill, I think the hands hopefully will start to follow what the head does. You know what I mean? Instead of kind of this way.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to do that drill quite a bit at home. Okay, get used to it. And then Dad, you know, as he's kind of swinging and hitting punch shots, just kind of hold his head right here a little bit and make sure that he's not falling forward. That's going to be a big balance issue for him right there. But as far as what we want to kind of work on as far as a swing right now, okay, is making sure that he swings up to about left arm parallel right here.
Parallel to right arm parallel.
Correct. And the big thing is I want him to feel like he's really accelerating down and through here, right? But then once I get my hands to here, I almost feel like I've got a brace for impact. And that's going to help accelerate his body. The momentum's going to carry him through instead of kind of one of those things where it's kind of like, once I hit the ball, he kind of decelerates.
Yeah.
Right? Everything kind of stops and slows up. So I want to get everything, as he gets here, speeding up, right? And really get that whip that we all talk about.
Yeah.
Okay? The other thing I would also work on just a little bit here with him, also in the bag, right? Get the toe into the bag a little bit. I see the face open a little bit, right? Get back to having that toe in the bag and just getting that face to rotate over. If he's hitting little hooks, I'm fine with that right now.
Yeah.
But just so he's getting the face to close.
Yeah, I'd rather it go a little left than spray to the right.
Correct. At least there's acceleration and there's face turning, and we can correct that. But if I'm kind of like slowing up and leaving the face open, it's tough.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Does that make sense, big guy? Any questions? Okay. Here's your club back.
Yeah, I had ordered an impact bag, and then I got a message from Amazon. They were just like, sorry.
No impact bag.
Wait, what? Must be the ship from coming over from China.
The slow boat from China, right?
Yeah, it must have
The
said-
slow tariff boat from China.
Or it's sunk.
Yeah.